Hey guys, Pawnce here. And some of you guys may know I do a live streaming thing over on twitch.tv aside from this video making stuff. And while I'm streaming, a fairly consistent question I get is where does the name Pawnce come from? So to hopefully mitigate the sheer amount of times I get asked that and have to answer said question, I'm going to start a new series here called Storytime with Pawnce, where I explain where exactly the name Pawnce comes from. So yeah, to answer that question, we have to go back about a decade to when World of Warcraft first came out in 2004. Now, the name Pawnce doesn't come up immediately, so we have to go back to my original server, Archimond, where I played a character called Dagdane. Dagdane was a much older name I used back when I used to play Shadowbane. And the reason I went to the Archimond server is because I was helping sort of, I guess, the Shadowbane PvP community, or whatever you want to call it. Bunch of crazy people have to kill each other all the time, all congregate onto one server and just create a mess and have everyone killing each other all the time. And so, as part of this sort of movement, I suppose, I obviously went to Archimon, and I started to hunter, and well, ran around killing people. Now, this character progressed quite far. I actually made it to raiding fairly early on. So I remember raiding a Molten Core shortly after the game came out with some guild with a terrible name. It was like Assassins or some crap like that. Um, but shortly into that, the people I was playing World of Warcraft with, like people I know from in real life, they were like, "Well, we want to switch servers now, and let's go to an RP PvP server." I'm like, I don't really want to do this. I don't want to go to an RP PvP server. I'm already raiding, and this is supposed to be the premier PvP server where I'm being thrown in with a group of cutthroat killers here. It's a bit cutthroat killers, that's redundant. But basically, sort of the cream of the crop PvPers are all supposed to be on this server. And then I'm like, okay, I'll do this with you guys, but we need to create a griefer guild called Clan McPawnage with me as the guild leader, and we run around doing nothing but griefing people. And everyone says, okay, that sounds fine. We'll do this. And it's an RP server, so we come up with some sort of BS RP story, and it's complete crap. And so that's how we get my initial character called McPawnage. No, yeah, it was McPawnage, Patriarch of Clan McPawn. Oh no, Patriarch at that time was Clan McPawnage. And so basically, what happened is that name didn't last very long on that server. I would run around corpse camping people and killing them over and over and over and over again. And eventually, I'm going to get reported because people don't like it when I kill them repeatedly. And I'm not camping lobies or anything. I'm seeking out people who are a similar level to me and just killing them over and over again. So yeah, that gets reported, and then they give you a choice of what to change your name to. And so it went through about 5 or 6, possibly more iterations of some things very similar to that, like McPawnage to McPawnzors to McPawner, whatever. And it was this huge long thing, and it kept happening until I finally reached level 60, and I kind of gained notoriety under one of those names. People kind of would recognize who I was. And then after about a month on a single name, this one finally got changed as well. And I was like, okay, I'm getting tired of this. I want people to kind of recognize my name. So I actually messaged the GM saying, okay, I'm going to go with Ponce de Leon. Is that okay? Because it still has the recognizable pawn element in there. And the GM's like, okay, that's fine. And so that name basically stuck. And here's a picture of me, while I'm still leveling. I'm not associated with any guild or anything. We found out, you could kill these crabs in Longshore or whatever the hell this zone is called. It was Westfall, that was it. And they kept respawning as fast as you could kill them. So I think I was power leveling, lower level people that I knew by killing crabs over and over again. And this is the result here, corpses everywhere. So eventually I joined a guild called the Caliphate. Now, I don't know what happened to these guys, and I'll talk about them in a bit. But so they weren't a major kind of raiding guild force at the time when I first joined them, but that started to kind of develop over time. And so I'd go on Vent and talk with these guys, and they would just shorten my name down to Pawnce. Now at the time, and actually still, technically my name is Ponce de Leon, but everyone just called me Pawnce, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna go with Pawnce. And yeah, here's me. We've kind of started to do world raiding, doing like the Green Dragon stuff with other guilds, and my gear still really, really sucks. You can see this terrible white mask. I believe that's like a blue item. And, we start doing stuff like Hakar and Nixia. My gear's improving a little bit, not by too much. We move on to Ragnaros, Nefarian. So by the time we're doing Nefarian, we're actually a fairly major raiding guild. I think we're number 2 on the server. The only guild ahead of us was like, every server has one of these, like the really, really hardcore, we raid every single day kind of thing. This was like the raiding guild for people who have to do other things. I was at university at the time, so I couldn't spend all day on World of Warcraft, just most of the day. um, so yeah, we're basically the number 2. Sometimes we're number 3, sometimes number 2. There was another guild who was, I believe, disbanded Afterlife or something, who would compete for the number 2 slot with us, or spot, doing AQ and stuff like that. Oddly enough, this was kind of, at least in vanilla WoW, the apex of my character's gear, AQ gear, with a little bit of Nax gear. You see a Nax dagger there, for those of you guys familiar with World of Warcraft. For some reason, screenshots of this era don't exist very much. I don't really know what happened. So yeah, that's kind of really it there. That's where my name Pawnce comes from. Hopefully I don't have to answer that question on stream anymore. Now this is another question. I was in the guild of Caliphate, and they changed their name to, like, what was it? After we stopped playing World of Warcraft, because I stopped playing very early on in what's that thing called? The first expansion pack, the Burning Crusade, because I kind of got bored with the game. Largely the guild looked like they kind of got bored with the game, so they stopped raiding, and some of them went back every once in a while. Yeah, the guild leader was Suleiman, sort of the right-hand man. The workhorse of the guild was Galandar. I don't really know what happened to these guys, so I don't know if any of you guys are from Emerald Dream, or what happened to the old Caliphate guild that eventually became the Ministry of Love. I don't know, send me a message or something. I'd kind of like to know happened to all those guys. It was kind of an interesting era when I really felt like I was sort of part of an elite team and we were working towards something important. Incidentally, I want to mention and brag, never lost a DPS race in this game. So long as there was a single target, I was always top of the DPS meter. Not a single raid where I was number lower. The only thing is AoE instances where all the AoE damage was happening. Then I'd lose to AoE mages, but that doesn't count. Anyway, and these are just some interesting beta pictures. The end of beta event, that was kind of funny. My actual very first character was called RPK, Random Player Killer, and this is Anixia in Stormwind City. Well, this just right before the servers are shutting down, and this is Thrall running towards me in Stormwind City. You can imagine I died, a few seconds after this. But anyway, that's my story. That's where the name Pawnce comes from. Hopefully you guys found that at least somewhat interesting or something. This has been Storytime with Pawnce, Episode 1. Maybe it'll never happen again. Maybe I'll have another one. I'll see you guys around. Oh, wait, no, I'm not going yet. And I'm streaming after this. If you watch this video and immediately afterwards, or it's immediately after it's being uploaded, or it's just been uploaded, I'm streaming something. I don't know, solo queue, custom games, whatever. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. That's in the description below.